YouTube, what is happening? My name's Lee Fuller. I'm the owner of Level Up Media and I used to own Thames Valley Brickwork. Mate, the Great British Summer is pissing down. This platform, this channel, is to show you guys how to get in front of the right clients and scale your construction companies online without the bullshit that goes with it. Alright, today I'm joined by Craig Todd. Craig has got over 100,000 followers on Instagram. He's going to tell us how he done it, the amount of time he spends creating and uploading content, and the return he gets on that content. And then I'm going to tell you why I believe, and we believe at Level Up Media, that LinkedIn is the most powerful platform for the construction industry and for you as a contractor if you want to scale. Alright, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. This channel is where you are going to make your money with your construction company and scale. I promise you that.
This is a bit of a selfish one for me because obviously we met on Instagram, right? And I've dipped my toe in, and I used to post on Instagram daily. For me, when I had the brickwork company, I would only post on Instagram to stay in the face of bricklayers and hod carriers, right? So the way that I've always worked it is, and this works really well. This is basically this is part of our strategy, right? Is Instagram and Facebook are like where the tradesmen hang out, and LinkedIn is where the businessmen are, right? However, I appreciate that was a couple of years ago, and I'm keen. I'll be stupid to not look at Instagram as well. I know people that are doing business on Instagram. I think the main thing for me is LinkedIn, and I'll bang on about it all of the time, man. LinkedIn is B2B, right? So it's business to business. Instagram is B2C, so business to consumer, right? So naturally, the way that I look at it is there's more money to be made on LinkedIn. Yeah. But I'm really keen to rack your brains on it because I know that there's 2 billion Instagram users and 60% of those are 18 to 35, which is relevant. Right? There's a lot of lads that have got and lasses that have got construction companies that fit into that bracket. I know they are using Instagram. I'm just keen to know whether they're doing business on Instagram. And what I'm trying to do is give our clients, right, and people watching this, anyone watching this, yeah, I want to give them bang for buck, and it doesn't necessarily mean money. I mean time as well. So I know the crack, Craig. Creating content takes time, man. And if you're creating that content, I want to know where my time is best spent, because what happens is it gets massively overwhelming. It did for me when I'm trying to build a YouTube channel, get jobs in on LinkedIn, get tradesmen on Instagram, stick something up on Facebook. And I guess what happened was I got to a point where I was like, I can't do all this, man. I've got to just focus somewhere, do you know what I mean? And that was when I really went hard with LinkedIn, and we moved the needle fast, like really fast. There was a perception I had a perception that I had to get on there. We spoke about it at Super Trail. I had to get on there and be like, oh, hello, my name is Lee and I have a brickwork business. Like, it's nonsense, yeah? I got on there covered in tattoos with my gold tooth, spoke like this, shot from the hip, and it went to the moon fast. And
just genuine.
Yeah, and the thing is, because it's B2B, not B2C, a lot of people are builders. There's a lot of builders and developers and architects on there that are looking to get tradesmen for their little hamlets or houses, for example, for their one-off builds. All of our bespoke jobs like you guys are doing at the minute came from LinkedIn. Do you know what I mean? I got one job off Instagram. It was a 30 grand labour only house, and that was because he knew my mate. It was it weren't random. Do you know what I mean? So, mate, I'm keen to know what your experience is on the other side of the fence with Instagram. And take it from the start if you want, mate. Just whatever. Let's just dive in.
Yeah, but take it from the start then. I've been on Facebook first since I can ever remember. Like, I started self-employed straight out of college, really.
Yeah,
I got paid off as 2008 recession, paid off, and then it's just like I need some money. So I set up like Yellow Pages, which is crap. Anyone stay away from Yellow Pages. waste of money.
On now anyway. I think it's dead.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know. And I've done the Facebook page, and it just sat there like just every now and again with like these professional advert type things,
Yeah.
which are crap. Like no one wants to be sold stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe it's 2020, maybe something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just decided Instagram, because I've got a decent like Google profile,
Yeah.
like 5-star and the highest rated in my area
Brilliant.
on Google, 5 stars. And then I was thinking like everyone can read them 5 stars, but there's a lot of skeptical people still out there, and there's people that know that you can buy fake reviews. None of mine are fake, but I just wanted something to back it up. And if someone can go to somewhere like Instagram and watch me, the person who turns up to look at your job, do what I say I'm doing, that's going to back up them reviews. So that's why I started Instagram, and it did seem to work. People would be like, "Oh, I've seen your reviews. I've watched you doing your work. I want you to do the job."
So initially, Craig, then it was to get people to know you as a person and then get you over the line with the job. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
That's
Spot
why I
on, like,
started YouTube. It's exactly why I started YouTube. My
Yeah.
partner identified, she's been in marketing for years, right? But she identified that every time I was in front of someone, I'd win a job. Like, or even if I didn't win it because of the numbers, like they want us to do it because of the way that we show up, right? And again, we had Google reviews. I think they're brilliant. I think it's like the cherry on the cake. But I agree with you. I think on its own, it's still a little bit vague. Do you know what I mean? Like there needs to be some more context to it. So and then obviously we were on LinkedIn and that was going well. But I needed to send these people on LinkedIn somewhere. And I guess it's the same with you, right? You needed to send them somewhere from Google. And then that's what I was the same. I was like, right, how do I get these people to know me? How do I get them to trust me? And how do I get them to want them to use me before I even give them any numbers? And that's where I chose the platform YouTube to work alongside LinkedIn, and it worked really well for me, man. It worked really well for me.
That's exactly it, though, isn't it? Like, time costs. There's a lot of money, isn't it? Your time, and you spend loads and you spend hours wasting time going around looking at jobs, pricing stuff for people. And I call it like self-qualified leads.
Yeah.
They've searched for someone, they've found you had good reviews, they've went on your Instagram, YouTube, whatever, seen that you do the good work, and then they'll ring you. Or in my head, this is the process. So they've already like qualified themselves.
Yeah.
You know, when you ask, is it all like, where did you get the phone number? How have you found work? Say, I've Google, Instagram, blah blah blah, and then you know that you can. It's as harsh. I don't know if that's the right word. As harsh as it sounds, you know, you can spend that time with them.
Yeah, man. It's a trust game, isn't it? Ultimately, like what we're trying to do is get these people to trust us to come into their homes. For you, especially doing extensions and stuff that you were doing, let's get them to come into their homes and build. Like we need them to trust us, and that was what. Like, and there's a theme as well, Craig. Yeah, like everyone that I talk to is doing well. So like yourself, like myself, Charlie, all of the Actually, to be fair, I don't know Charlie personally, but everyone that seems to be doing well, and definitely our clients, they're all sound. I mentioned it in last week's YouTube video. Like they're all sound, and I'm like, get in front of camera. If you look and portray that you are sound and you're good at your job, like why wouldn't everybody use you? Do you know what I mean? Because there's still that perception of like the snakes in the construction, especially B2C that you were. There's still that perception of like, oh, they're gonna rip me off. Oh, do you know what I mean? Like, and they're gonna lose their savings and all that stuff. So, brilliant, man. So when you done that, yeah. So when you thought, right, I'm gonna get onto Instagram, I'm gonna build a profile there, so I can send people there. How long did that take for it to actually gain traction? Because you're sitting at like 103,000 at the minute, which is a good following. It's a great following. How long did it take to really gain some traction?
It was really quick, to be honestly.
Was it? Yeah.
I was quite surprised, and it wasn't what I had set out. I never set out to do anything like I'm doing on there now. Like I say, it was just to try and generate more work. But
Yeah.
I had started, and when I started, I didn't. It's like LinkedIn. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So
You will
I
do soon. Don't worry about that.
yeah, boy. I had I'd been watching Ash Mahoney and Phil.
Yeah.
Phil the Yorkshire builder.
Yeah.
Been watching them. They seem to be doing good. So I just asked how are you doing it, and what do I
Yeah.
need to do? And I took it to the extreme. Like I just be relevant,
Yeah.
just turn up all the time, and that's what I did at the time. And it changes all of the time, though, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
how the platforms work. But at the time, I was posting. I think somewhere between 4 to 8 reels every single day,
Really.
and on the stories, ridiculous amounts. I remember
Yeah.
the worst day, or the best, however you want to look at it. On the stories I went back and I counted them. I'd done 72 stories on one day,
Mm.
which is probably too much.
So I guess there's a question in there, mate. So
Yeah.
I hear that fits when I talk to people about Instagram. That's a theme, right? A common theme is loads of stories. You got to put, you've got to be on the stories multiple times a day. Usually you've got to post twice a day. Obviously that's just hearsay that I've heard, right? I guess for me and for a lot of our clients and a lot of our people that listen and watch on that, like time is a real valuable like commodity for them because they're so busy building their company. And as a young business, I hear it all the time. That's actually a reason that a lot of people haven't signed up with us for the lower package is because they've still got to do the work themselves. And they're still like, where does that fit into my day? Yeah. Now, I come from the stance of, if you don't make it a priority now, like you are going to have no work on soon because there are people like yourself, like me, that are doing this and they will get seen and they will start winning the contracts, right? I think it was something like 41% of construction workers still aren't on social media. Yeah. You can imagine the tiny minority of that are creating video content consistently, day in, day out. There's a massive opportunity, like massive. But I guess my question is, time-wise, how did you fit that in, man? That's a lot of content.
I asked myself the same question. Like I really don't know. Just sacrifice, and still now, like I still sacrifice a lot of my own time to do that. But for me, like social media, it's a business. Because it makes money, it generates leads, and I've got to do it. I'm not a big person where I can just pay someone to go and make the content for us. And
of course.
So I've got to do it. It's part of the business. I've got to do it. So you've got to make time, whether that's 5 o'clock in the morning or
it's such a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because I think that look, we're the crossover generation, Craig, and we get it and we see the power in it. And I think nearly even the older generation that I talk to, I've got a couple of calls today with them, right? They see the power in it. But trying to get them to make it a priority, they're like, oh, well, I'll just do it next time. I'll do it in 6 months. Yeah. So I actually feel for them because what happens is 6 months' time, it will look different again, right? The landscape will look different again. There'll be new people coming through. I mean, you've seen what happened at Super Trail, like the way that's taken off. Like, it is the only way to run a cut. Like, it's the only way to do it. But I hear it all the time. Like, for people that have no money because they're a startup, that was definitely me. I had to borrow 1,500 quid off my stepdad to set my Thames Valley brickwork up again. And for people that have families, their sacrifice is work all day. So their situation is I work all day like a lunatic on the tools, whether it's bricklaying or chipping, it don't matter. And they'll come home and have to sacrifice my family time or my sleep to create content that, to be honest, doesn't take off straight away, right? I know it took off well for you, and I gained some traction quite quickly. And I guess that's why I'm trying to really give people like actionable items where it's like, look, if you put your energy here, you're going to get some immediate or very quick results. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing overnight. I don't think that exists. What I will say as well is that 85% of your audience, not yours, but in general, They're not ready to buy yet. So what people do is they look, and then when they're ready, when the drawings get approved, or when they're ready to buy, they will, and they'll come to you. But it's a long game, isn't it? It's a long game. If you're struggling for time and money, your options are to do what you've done and to do what I've done. I was editing until 11:30 Sunday night, actually. And that's Friday night after the Super Trial on Thursday. What's the alternative? The alternative is, for me, don't take off. You're like, my business won't take off if I don't do it.
Yeah.
Because of the world that we live in
100%
today.
right.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I just wanted to stick that out there. Like, I guess what's the alternative is what I'm trying to say.
There
There isn't one.
isn't, is it? Like, it's marketing and advertising, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like when we were younger, was there even Facebook? It was a MySpace or something, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
that was when the internet had just came out or something. But things have changed since then. Like, if like, that's just how you have to be on there.
It's adapt or die, isn't it? Like it actually is, man. I'm seeing companies. There's a contractor that I'm sure we both know that's just had to shut his doors. And it's like, he came on and done he done a master a one-on-one session with me, but he didn't apply it. And it's not just that. It's not just the reason he's chasing money as well. But there's so many factors that go into becoming a good contractor and becoming a successful contractor. And I believe this isn't not just because we teach it. I believe that marketing it has to be top of the list now. Like, what else? It's like we just said. What's the alternative, man?
It is. If you can be the best tradesman or the best at whatever it is you do. It doesn't have to be construction. You could be the best person who makes clothes. If people can't see what you're doing now, like today, if they can't see you, you're not gonna.
Nah,
you kind of get in front of them.
One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given, Craig, is people don't buy the best product or service. They buy the one that's communicated the most effectively. Yeah. And when I heard that, I was like, that is powerful, because it don't matter. I know so many good trails, right? Like old school trails I come through with, they're all coming into their 60s now, are brilliant. Like I couldn't lace their boots. You know what I mean? I was good at my job, right? But it doesn't matter because no one knows who they are. Nobody knows who they are, It's crazy, man. What are you dropping at the minute, contents wise? What are you, as in amount wise? Are you still staying to that level of consistency? And I'll see you on there all the time.
No. At the minute, I'm just doing one post a day.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I'd done a few more because I wanted to.
Yeah, you're about as well. You're not working it today or yesterday.
Yeah, but and I've read, and this was a while ago, so it might have changed again. But you don't need to be posting that much now. The algorithm or whatever. You just need to, like when I was posting 8 times a day, it was just anything. Like a time lapse or a 3-second video of you scraping the bed or something, which is still good, and you can still. It's not to say that don't post them, but if you can just post one
quality video
or video, whatever, as long as it's got a lot of value in. If someone gets a lot of value from that, then that's all that you need to do.
So how do you decide what to shoot, Craig? I think that's a really, like, I want to know that for myself as well, right? Because your formula clearly works. So what is it that because I talk an awful lot about understand your clients, right? So if you understand your client, and the fundamentals of marketing are, if you understand your clients and you talk about their problems, all right, they're going to go, oh, and me, fucking hell, they understand. And then we've just got to step in as the guide and show them that we can solve their problems, right? So how do you go about, you're on site. What do you think? Oh, I need to shoot that. I need to shoot that. How do you work that out? What they want to see?
What they want to see.
As in, like, when obviously you upload quite a lot of content, but have you got a formula, or you just sort of like, oh, I'm doing that today, let's just make a video on that?
Pretty much that. Yeah. I'm doing that. Let's make a video on that. But like, things which look nice as well.
Yeah.
People buy nice shiny stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, a nice bit of herringbone brickwork or whatever. That stuff always does well. A bit of stonework and that. Definitely, man.
So
I
just
think,
like the pieces of stone, the stone jams,
yeah.
sills and stuff on that job.
Yeah,
Do a
if you
little
look
bit
back at
of,
my Instagram, I've done quite a lot of videos on that, on the stone jams and stuff. Stuff like, you know, I'm assuming you got stone heads sitting on the top of those. What a lot of people do is they clamp the stones to the window frames, which is what we done. But then on one of our jobs, we got to the top and it had moved ever so slightly, just a couple of mil. And because the heads match in with the jams, it didn't line up. So what we've done was I put a video up there of we cut a bit of 4x2 the same size as a seal, clamped it right at the top of the top mullions, top jams, heads that straight on. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that does really, really well because it's almost like teaching as well as like, look,
and value, isn't it?
yeah, it's value, man. It's a value game. No, blinding, mate. So I'm keen to know. Obviously, you monetized your Instagram, yeah. So I'm keen to know, Craig. And I'll say this is just for my own selfish interest, really.
This is another point that you try to make, yeah, with monetization.
Yeah.
Different accounts will do different things. And
Okay.
because I'm monetized on there now, my content's slightly different.
Okay.
Because now I know I can make money. Just like Facebook will pay you, or YouTube will pay you. So my content will change around what's paying the best.
Yeah, of course.
On there as well. It's not. I don't make an absolute fortune from it, like, but
yeah,
I do change the content around that. Like, at the minute I get paid for photos, the best. I've just had 100% increase on the photos, so that's why you probably see I'm posting a lot of photos.
Yeah. Is that from the brands direct, Craig, or is that from Instagram as a platform?
No, it's not the brands. Brands is a second way to monetize, isn't it? So that's like,
yeah,
you know, Facebook will pay something stupid like 0.3 pence or 0.03 pence per 1,000 views or something.
Same as YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the ad revenue that you get paid from Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, that when they put little adverts at the bottom of your videos, that's what I'm on about.
Yeah.
And it is, it's not a lot of money, but if you do, like, say last month was $178 I made on Facebook for photos.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot of money, and people might be like, $178. But like, by the time I've taken the photo, uploaded it, written something about it, replied to the comments, that's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you might have, like, my reels are doing crap at the minute.
Yeah.
On Facebook, it was about $60 or something for the ads on reels, and then 20 quid for one video. I made this. They were at Super Trail Williams cavity tray cleaners.
Yeah, I'll see them. Yeah.
I'd done that video, and that made 20 quid because it was videos over a minute make more money.
Okay.
20 quid on there. Little bits, but they all add up. So you got 170, like 170, 60, 20 quid. Like 100 odd quid off TikTok and
So you're across Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Yeah, and I know you're on YouTube as well. So what does that look like inquiry wise? So for me, I'll give you some context. For me, obviously, I only ever went onto those platforms to build the business and, like we mentioned, get people to trust me and trust us to get in bigger contracts, more lucrative. Because I was looking at it thinking, look, so our average contract, labour only, was 120 grand, right? So that was always pretty much the rule of thumb. One big house, similar to the size you're doing, was usually around 120 grand contract. You know, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. So I was thinking, well, look, if I can get in those jobs from social media, forget payment from social media for a minute, if I can get those jobs in and I'm making 20% markup on that, that's 20 grand that's 20 grand profit after salary and wages and whatever else, right? So my head was like, the more of those I get in, the bigger I build my business, the more money I make. That's just basics, right? So that's that. I looked at it from that stance. So what about inquiries wise? Are you getting many inquiries from those platforms?
I am getting inquiries from them, but a lot because I mentioned that super travel. I need to change.
Mm-hmm.
I need to change content and the way that I'm trying to sell things. Like everything before this job with Charlie is extensions, and it might be crappy, not crappy, but small garden walls and stuff like that. So you do, they still come through. Or I've seen done this extension. Can you come and look at it for us? And I do get work through the socials.
Good. Yeah.
Some of them as well are absolutely miles away. Like I've had loads of people from down south, like Leeds way and stuff like that. It's far too far away.
Mate, I'm proper south.
Yeah.
I was right down south.
Yeah. But yeah, it does work. But
that's good. That's good.
Once we've got this job, the mansion that we're doing with Charlie, like for me, I need to step my game up content wise on there, because at the minute and it totally goes against the whole point of doing the job with him. Because the point wasn't that it's working with Charlie. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Though, it's not about the money. The money's good, but it wasn't about that. It was about the portfolio and what comes after it.
Definitely.
So
yeah,
once I've started to create good content for that, and then me feeds like Instagrams and whatever, they all become more full of that sort of content.
You've got a brilliant opportunity, Craig. I'm not just saying that because we're on a call. Like, you've got a brilliant opportunity. Yeah. So we worked out. So I don't know how much you know about my story, right? But I stopped subbing when I was 27. I got out of the game, went to film school. I was never ever coming back to subbing. I was done with it. Cut a long story short, I bumped into Christian. We set back up after COVID. And I said to him that I'd learned a lot about business, marketing, sales, all that stuff in the meantime. I had another couple of businesses. And I said to Christian, if we set back up, we're doing this my way, and we are going high-end prestige and nothing else. Bearing in mind I was working for someone else, and we had we were a scratch, you know what I mean? We had no money or anything. And what happened was I landed 5 houses on LinkedIn after like a couple of weeks of being on there. And then they weren't prestige. They were nice. They were in Ascot. They were like, I think they were like 1.8 million down to about.
I've watched that one. I've watched that.
Yeah, you see the video, mate. Yeah. So we won that job. And what I'd done was I marketed it correctly on LinkedIn, got in front of camera, same stuff, spoke about the problems, and it went to the moon, right? And then what happened was we won another job, which was 102 grand on the nose, actually, the Finch Amster project. And we won that job off the back of it. And what happened was we then really quickly got a portfolio. Bearing in mind, it's only 2 projects, but we got a portfolio of like luxury houses. So I was able to call ourselves, and it was in my LinkedIn profile and everything else, but like the luxury house builder. And then what happened was that opened doors, because what happens is if you just do extensions, which is great, and that is some people's lane, and it's been yours for a while. If you just do that, it's very difficult to get the conversation flowing, because they're like, well, hang on a minute, what about stone mullions? What about herringbone? All that jazz? What about flint? All that. So what you're doing now, you have a wonderful opportunity to really market the shit out of that. And the reason that I was at Mad Kings, I wanted to get to know you better anyway, right? But for me, I'm just going to give you some context. Actually, we'll just touch on brand deals quickly, Craig, and then I'll just want to give you a bit of context around what we're doing for our clients, just to show you, or just to explain to everyone that's listening to this, how we can get maximum sort of return on investment, if that makes sense. And obviously, I didn't know your story and your brand deals and your all that stuff. So now I've got a bit of an idea about it. I just want to put the LinkedIn slant on it. Do you know what I mean? Which might add some value to yourself. So yeah, what are your brand deals wise? So I'd imagine they're quite a lot. I'd imagine. I'll see you working with On the Tools. I know brands are very attracted to people that have got lots of followers and as genuine as yourself. So what does that look like?
it's something that I didn't set out. I didn't even know that you could do stuff like that. That also changed the way that I put content out as well, because now I
Yeah.
need to market to the people who want a house building. So I need to learn how to market to people who want houses, and now I need to learn how to sell somebody else's product.
It's a different conversation, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
different. Yeah. Just quickly, because that's really, really important to anyone watching this. The way that you speak, this is not. I'm not saying this to you, Craig. This is just to the general public. The way that you talk to people when you're trying to sell something, a product as such, to the way that you talk to people when you're trying to sell your services, so your brickwork services, for example, is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
It's why we've got a marketing map, because a lot of people and companies have various products, quote unquote, right? So yours might be the brand deals, might be the brickwork service, it might be Instagram content. I don't know what that looks like, right? But it's different content, isn't it? You just said it, right? Because the way that I sell, the way that I sell a spirit level to a bricklayer for a brand deal, I'm talking to the bricklayer there. But the way that you sell your brickwork services to a homeowner is different. And where people get it mistaken with, especially on LinkedIn actually, is what they try and do is they try and talk to the bricklayers by creating content that they'll resonate with, that they'll love, that they'll like and engage with. When actually what we want to be doing is talking to the developer who struggles with something totally different to what the bricklayer struggles with. If we talk about problems, he'll use our services, right? And that's I just wanted to stick that out there, because that is the number one issue that I see in marketing, is people are like, I put down 1,000 bricks today, when you've got this developer over here that is pissed off to the back teeth of poor communication. So I'm like, our communication's second to none. Once you use us, you'll never go anywhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The developer or the little old lady's boiler down the road's just gone off. You need to identify their problem and then fix it.
Yeah, so true,
Then you
man.
get money afterwards.
Yeah,
Money
so
comes
true.
after you've made a solution for
So
whatever
true.
the customer's problem is. And
So
that's
true.
down to that's down to communication as well. If you're not listening properly to what they're telling you.
So do you notice that your brand deal posts then get less interaction? Because obviously you're using Instagram for a lead generator as well, right? You're looking to get new contracts and whatever else. So do you notice that your brand posts get less interaction than, say, building an extension for the lady around the corner? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they do, and that's something that I'm trying to get better at. Certain products are easier to sell, but you can tell what a brand deal post looks like.
Yeah, of course.
And people don't want to be sold stuff, so
yeah, okay.
the will scroll past it a lot faster than the would in regards to a video of you laying bricks or whatever.
I think there's an element of jealousy as well, Craig. I think, because obviously you're a trail, you've done really well, you've got brands contacting you saying, "Can you sell this for us? Can you whatever?" But there's a lot of lads that are on the tools that hate their job, right? So there's a lot of lads that are on the scaffold that might follow you that are like, "Fucking hell, he's making money out of that as well now." Like, he's making money out of it, but I mean, you've put the work in, right? And rightly so. Like, you should be making money out of that. But I was really interested to find out that dynamic, because I see quite a lot of people selling stuff. And I'm just like, I wonder what that's like to their audience and the engagement, and if it drops off.
Yeah, it does. But if you and it's hard as well, like certain things that I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. Like certain things, you've got to start the conversation by whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to sell this later.
Yeah.
And it's like, clearly, if this comes on the screen, you're trying to sell this later. Why else would it be on it? And it's really hard sometimes. So you've got to start by like, I'm selling this later.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Transparent.
But like some things, like a pair of boots or something, you could just go about whatever, just take a little walk around the site and I don't know, maybe he's fall in a hole or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, it's a good job I've got these new boots on that Scruff sent me out. Look. And then the engagement's already been there because people are watching the value that you're giving first
Yeah,
before the second piece of value, which
yeah,
is the
yeah.
product you asked to sell.
So
Um,
for you then on Instagram, right? Is it more lucrative for you as a lead generator or as brand partnerships and monetizing the platform? Do you see what I mean? Like, I guess I look at the likes of Charlie, for example, and I think, look, he's got 1.3 million on YouTube, loads of likes. His following's absolutely massive. He's, most famous bricklayer in the country without a doubt. Very good, very quick, all that jazz. I look at it from purely a business stance, and I'm like, why is he still on the tools? Because if there must be a lot of brand deals on the table, a lot of money being made. For me, it's just my business brain, right? I'd try and monetize that, get off the tools, and then sell my services in a different way, right? So I guess I look at the likes of yourself and I think, okay, at what point do you get to where it's like Instagram socials, as it were, is more lucrative now than actually laying bricks because you won't get rained off and all that stuff.
like, but for me, laying bricks is still more lucrative.
Yeah.
You, but there are, and I've spoke to a lot of people, even at Super Troll just the other day, who are doing fucking fantastic. Like, and they're not, didn't have to be bricklayers. This one guy was a joiner. Probably everybody already knows who he is. But some of these people, like half of his revenue, like he's neck and neck with whatever he's doing at work. He's getting the same through his brands.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it, man.
Some people
my business partner and life partner in this venture, Helen, is so she was a partnerships manager in London for years, right? She used to partner, to work for Global, work for Future Music, and she'd partner celebrities with brands, right? And the money they make from even just doing like, a podcast or a read or whatever, it's like silly money. Do you know what I mean? So I was just keen to understand that what that tipping point is where, can you monetize it? Because I guess I ain't got nowhere near the following you've got, right? And I guess what I've done is monetized my knowledge, right? I've only got 7,500 on YouTube. To say only, like, it doesn't really matter. But what I've done is I've monetized it, and they've come over, and I'm now making more money doing this than what I earned laying bricks, right? Because we've got a really good business model. It's not just the YouTube and this stuff. Like, there's a lot of business knowledge over a long period of time of how to build a successful construction company. So I don't know. It's a really interesting dynamic for me. I think what happens is when we put ourselves out there, Craig, is it opens up loads of doors and opportunities that you would never normally have stumbled across. I never planned to build this business. Never. I left bricklaying at Christmas for personal reasons because of my little girl. She's with us all the time now, a lot of the time. And my friend who approached me and said, "Will you run my social media for me? I've seen what you're doing, what you've done with your company really quickly." I was like, "Oh, all right then, I'll have a look." And I've done it for him, and then someone else approached me, and then before you know it, we've got like 6 full-time clients, and like it's gone to the moon, right? Because we're solving a problem. It's the same thing, and what it does is it gives you a get-out clause as well, because I believe you can only put down bricks like you boys do, and like I did for so long. Like, my hips knackered, my back's knackered. I can't play at the level that I was playing at, Craig. That's a fact. That I was, for years I've done 7 days a week, lugging gear around. There's a point, isn't there? And I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's not just the money, is it? It's the opportunities that come with the money. That's why that come with the presence. So I was just really keen.
He's spot on, and that's why I've started to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I love my job. I love the crack, being with the lads, and just standing back, like, fucking hell, I've just built that.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be there forever.
I get it, man.
I do love it, but working on the crushed brick, you first lift the scaffold.
Yeah.
My knees are still wrecked, and I've been off for a week and a half now.
Yeah.
Your knees are wrecked, your elbows, your back, and you look at some of the older trades, and they're like they're hunched over. Especially the bloke I done my time with. He's like,
Yeah.
he's wrecked, and it's like, good on you, like hats off to you, but
We've got
like
an
that's
opportunity though, haven't we? We've got
like,
an opportunity to not end up in that spot,
yeah,
right? We've got an opportunity to get out, I guess, is you know, I had a good innings, man. I had 21 years, Craig. Like, I had a good innings and I loved my job and I've built some like really beautiful pieces of work that I'll have forever. Like,
how old are you now, Lee?
I'm 36.
36.
Yeah, well,
So
how old are
you
you?
36.
Oh yeah, 87 or 88.
Yeah, 80 years.
Yeah, I'm
June.
87. I'm 30. I'm actually 37 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
9. I'm 9 years. Well, you should never compare yourself. Like, so you should
Nah.
never compare yourself. Like, you've had a lot. Well, it doesn't. It's irrelevant, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's realizing that you can do it. You can do it forever, but
Nah. What
each
you
person's
just
different. Like, and
yeah, what you just mentioned there, Craig, is so important. And I think what happens for me really early, like sorry, not really early on, the second time round when I set Thames Valley Brickwork up, right? I had an exit clause. Like I built. What happened was in those 3 years that I had off, I learned about exiting businesses. I learned about marketing, sales. Like I was building something else. So when I came back to Thames Valley Brickwork, like we sat down with a broker on like month 2 of the business and was like, I want to exit for this amount of money. I want to sell the business for X amount of money. What do I need to do to get there? And then what happened was that dictated that actually I need to do X, Y, and Z to be turning over this much, to make this much profit, to be worth this much money when I sell it. The social media stuff came after. That was never the plan, right? It was always just a plan to sell, to build a business and sell it. But I guess my point is, if you have the end goal, that almost dictates what platforms you use, what manner you use them. Because, for example, with LinkedIn, I knew that I could build the business. So forget the other stuff. I could build the business fastest on that platform. And for me, because I wanted to exit as quickly as I could and get to those numbers as quickly as I could, it dictated everything else. And what happens is, and then it's like anything else that comes in is like noise. And it's actually like, does that take me closer to where I'm trying to get to? Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I had that. I've always had that exit plan, and it's the same with this business to a certain extent. Like, I want to position it in 5, 6, 7 years time. Well, my youngest is 6. I'd like to get her to get to 16, and we've got an option to be swallowed up by a bigger market media agency. And to do that, and that dictates all the other stuff. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. That's class. Like,
It's
like
there for everyone, man. It really is.
yeah,
Like
you've got to know. You've got to know where you're going, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's learning all of the way. Like I'm still, I don't know nothing, man.
I
I don't know.
disagree, mate. I disagree. I think
I
you're
know very
smashing
little.
it.
We all learn every day, don't we? Like,
Yeah. So that there, Craig, is exactly why I set this up. Honestly, like that is this sole. And I think we had a bit of back and forth before about it. Actually, when I set up Thames Valley Brickwork again, I came from the stance of like, how can I help you? Because everyone was going on there saying, I'm quick, I'm this, I'm that, 1,000 bricks a day, all that rubbish, yeah. Which look, it's not rubbish. That is some people's narrative, and it's great. For me, I was like, that ain't my truth. Running a brickwork company is fucking difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting knocked all the time. Like, I'm mothering middle-aged men that can't do their job properly.
yeah,
Like, it was difficult. And I was like, right, I'm going to come from the stance of how can I help you? And that's what this is about today. I'm like, how can I give you lot the information you need to go out there and get maximum, like, move the needle, go and win contracts and fucking whatever else, man. And I'm just really, I'm the same as you. I'm a lifetime learner, Craig. I just want to learn. I just want to improve and get better, and that's literally the reason I was like, I need to talk to Craig about Instagram, man, because I ain't got a clue.
yeah. It does work. Like, Instagram does work, and I do agree with what you've said. Like, that's where the tradesmen hang out.
Yeah.
And you more, not that tradesmen aren't professional, because they are.
Yeah.
But like you develop as you invest as people with money all over LinkedIn.
Yeah. There's so much opportunity over there, mate. And I'll just, like, if it's cool with you, I'll just touch on LinkedIn because I think it'll probably add value to yourself as well, hopefully.
Yeah, of course, because I have no idea. Like
so
I said, I've set it up.
Yeah, I went to see Gary V years ago, right? Gary Vaynerchuk years ago, and his right-hand man was there. And he come on the stage, he was only 19. He come on the stage and he said, if you take anything away from what I do today, get on LinkedIn. He said, anything. He said, forget everything else, just get on LinkedIn. He said, because every like acts as a share. So because the algorithm, it's just the way they do it, right? If I like your content, my whole network will see your content, right? So you can quickly see if you're making relatable content, talking to your potential clients' problems, it goes to the moon. It goes to, and I think one of the first posts I've done was I put up a pair of I put up a hog carrier in January. It bought him a new pair of boots. It's only 50 quid. I put a post up saying, look, everyone's skin. It's the new year. Da da da. Yada yada. And it got like 600 likes, and I got 2 inquiries, and I was just like, what is this? And then what I'd done was I had some coaching as well, because I didn't know how to use it. It was alien to me, completely alien. This is only like 5 years ago, and the lady showed me how to squeeze every penny out of it. And then I set about making content, and like I mentioned earlier, I went on there and I've done it. It was in the vlog last week or the week before. Tony, who's now one of our full-time clients with marketing, he messaged me out of the blue like 2, 3, or 4 weeks in or whatever it was, and gave me those 5 houses. He didn't know me. He'd never met me. He'd just seen that I'd been on LinkedIn, and I added him. And that's what I talk about, the opportunities, man. LinkedIn is where the money is, right? Whether people accept that or not, it is where the businessmen are doing business. They're not doing, for me, they're not doing business, big money business on Instagram. I had a Facebook and Instagram account early doors, and I'd get garden walls and extensions, and it's great. And I say to our clients now, if you're doing that and it's working, keep doing it. But move over into LinkedIn, because that's where the bigger contracts are. And someone said it to me early doors, they were like, Lee, if you want to pick up scraps, go on there. If you want to go and get substantial contracts with long periods of work, go onto LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn for us, our average contract was like 4 months. So I only need 3 of those to get me through the year.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Probably not even that, because it might get rained off on that. And that's what happened, right? And we were able to scale really, really quickly. Now, one of the other beautiful things about it is, if you get a presence on LinkedIn, and I have a bit of back and forth with a few people about this, they don't agree, but I don't know if you will or not, but what happens is when you are regular on LinkedIn and you post regularly and you talk about your clients' problems, you create market value for your business, right? And for yourself. And what happens is when you come to the negotiation stage, it's almost an easier conversation because they know who you are, they want to use you. And I'd say that 90% probably 95% of the people that called me at the last year of my time at Thames Valley Brickwork phoned me and said, I want you to do the job, and I hadn't even seen drawings. Because of the power of the platform. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now there's a side note to that, right? So going back, and again, this is all about trying to give everyone bang for buck and move the needle as much as possible. I post on LinkedIn once a day, right? I do a picture, right? So this is the other thing as well. Pictures work better and written text work better than videos on LinkedIn, like you were saying about Instagram, actually. Now, I'll post a picture a day on LinkedIn or a written post. It takes me 15 minutes. 100% of my contracts came from LinkedIn, right? 100%. I didn't get, other than that one job on Instagram, but other than that, all of my substantial contracts came from LinkedIn. Now, most people have LinkedIn, they have it, don't post. They scroll, right? Most people don't post. Yeah. So if you post consistently about their problems on a platform where most people don't post, they just watch. Like, you can imagine, and every like acts as a share. Why would they not call you? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a no-brainer. And the other side to it is the people that do post don't understand about branding, or a lot of them, right? So you'll go on their profile and nothing will match. There'll be, for example, their web, you won't be able to get, it's like a landing page, LinkedIn. You land on it, on their page, and it should have all the information. It should have like how to get hold of them. It should have pictures of their work. The about section needs to be structured correctly. So you need to talk about them, not you. And then you've got what's called recommendations, which are LinkedIn testimonials. So what happens is that they can scroll down, read your about section, and they can go down and see what other people have said about you. Now, like I say, it's 15 minutes a day, and all of our work comes from there. I'll give you some context here. I set this business up on the back of a conversation with a friend. And what happened was, he came to me and asked me, and I then told Tony what I was doing for him. And Tony asked me, Tony said, I'll do 3 months with you. He said, we'll see how you get on. We'll see how we get on. And we'll go from there. I said, I ain't promising you nothing. I ain't promising you leads. What I'll do is I'll promise to make you attractive to potential clients. And that's what we've done. And he's signed up for a year now. He ain't going nowhere. Neither's the other guy and everyone that comes on stage, right? That's irrelevant. My point is, like, the opportunity is absolutely huge. I put a post up saying I'm now doing social media management for clients, and I'll put in this, when I upload this to YouTube, I'll put my inbox, I'll scroll through my inbox. I had like 200 inquiries in a couple of months. It went mad. Now, you won't get that many, I wouldn't have thought, or you won't with a construction company, for example, but you will. I consistently got messages saying, can you give me a price? Can you give me a price? Can you give me a price? Now, bearing in mind, you've also got architects, you've also got builders merchants, getting discounted merchants, you've got project managers, you've got site agents, and I can go on there right now, go to your area, Craig, and I can get in front of the decision maker right now, instantly. I just have them. And I don't sell to them, right? I do not send direct messages to anybody, ever. They come to me. And it's literally a case of position yourself correctly and become, make yourself the leader in your area at what you do and back yourself. They'll come to you. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? We got a client at the minute. It's giving us $6,000 and he's already at 230 grand profit. Like, everyone's got money. Everyone's got money on there. Do you know what I mean? People are, oh, well, I can't learn that one because I'm already. And this is where it stumbles, right? This is why I was so keen to talk to you. Because people jump on and they go, oh, yeah, but I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, fucking X or whatever it's called, the new one. And I'm like, I ain't got time for Instagram. I'm like, do yourself a favor, keep doing what's working, but just come over here and do a bit more. Yeah. And someone like yourself, Craig, you have got endless amount of content. Like, that's will work.
Right. Find a balance. Everything is so hard to balance. But like TikTok for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't give a fuck about it really. like I used to get paid really good. It used to be like, used to make a fortune. December I was getting like £1.10 per 1,000 views. It was mint. Yeah. But it's a waste of time now. I don't get hardly any views. I don't get any leads from there really.
Yeah.
So balance the time.
Yeah.
It's not working. Spend less time. Spend half an hour less time on there. Put that half an hour extra towards LinkedIn.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But
yeah, it's return on investment, mate, isn't it? It's return on investment. Investment is time in this instance, right? So what I've done, and this is a real thing, right, is I've got a piece of paper and I wrote down how many inquiries I'd had from each platform and how much time it was taking me. And I very, very quickly saw that minimal time on LinkedIn is where all of our contracts were coming from. And what I'd done was, I listened to a lot of speakers and stuff as well, and they're like, loser shit that don't work. And I literally went like that. And I was like, I am going all in with LinkedIn, and I'm going to use YouTube as a just to get them to know me as a video catalog, because you've seen the work we done, right? So that stuff sold itself. Like, if they
sells itself.
Yeah, and what I'd done was in my emails, at the end of my email, I'm like, don't take my word for it, go and get to know us, then come back. And I was really ballsy with that. I'd be like, listen, you ain't got to use me. Go and see what we're about, and if we align, then we'll chat. Do you know what I mean? And they come back after watching YouTube and be like, when can you start?
Yeah.
Which makes the negotiation stage really much easier. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, mate, listen. I've loved that. I've loved that, Craig. Like, I really have. And it's for me, if as a young business, not you, but if anyone's listening to this and they're a young business, LinkedIn is the lowest hanging fruit. It's the lowest hanging fruit. Like, if you want to gain traction quickly, I'd say money-wise, what I'd say is work out where you want to go with your business. So for me, it was an exit, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to build it to exit on Instagram. And like I said, that's where the tradesmen sort of hang around, which is great. It's fucking brilliant. Like, I use Instagram. Don't get me wrong. I do sit there and scroll and watch your videos and what I do. But from a business stance, I just find LinkedIn so useful, man.
I was going to say something there, and it's gone like time. Something about time, like
That's right, mate. We'll come
Like
back to it because there's one last thing that I just wanted to stick out there, and you mentioned it as supercharged to me, Craig, and that's websites, right? We are massive on it, and some people aren't, some people don't. They're not bothered, right? I'm huge on it because think of the process of clients. Forget Instagram and YouTube and all that for a minute. If you're on, say, LinkedIn, it's a professional platform to a certain degree, yeah? The first thing they're going to do when they see your profile, if your profile looks great, is go on your website. And they're going to look at your website. And if your website is what I call wireframed, which is what we do for our clients, we wireframe it so it talks about your clients, not you. And your branding matches, and your content is relevant, and they trust you. It's a done deal. It's a done deal, man. But that stuff is so important, and it might cost, if you're starting a business, it might cost you a couple of grand to get it all straight. It'd be the best money you ever spend because LinkedIn's free. My marketing budget was zero.
Yeah,
literally zero, man.
Like my marketing budget is zero as well.
Yeah,
Still is like, but we just got that big house.
Yeah,
from
brilliant.
Zero.
That will fly on LinkedIn, Craig. You know that, right? If you get if you get on LinkedIn now, I'll show you how to use it anyway. You will fly on there. I'm telling you, they love that stuff. They eat that stuff up on there because they're businessmen looking for quality.
Yeah.
Instagram people are going, oh, that's fucking great. LinkedIn, they're like, I want that. It's a different conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different conversation.
When you've got time, I'll show you because I've got two different things on there. Like, I set it up. Like, did you have to set up like a personal LinkedIn, and then you can set up your business one from that? And like, I go on it, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's cool. Don't worry. So what we've got that thing that I told you about, yeah, and we'll sort out. We'll talk off of this about it, yeah. It's 250 quid for the year, and it has got every single thing people need to scale their business in there. And the reason is because I want to help young businesses and tradesmen get ahead. I spent that 3 years I had off, I spent all of my money trying to get the information I needed to build this other business. And I'm like, why don't people, especially in construction, why don't people know about that stuff? So that was the idea of it. It was like, look, let's just give the small businesses what they need to get up to the £1 million mark, and then they can scale and whatever else. But it's the perfect wireframe websites in there. It's 2 live calls a month, and there's on-demand videos to smash it on LinkedIn and a LinkedIn masterclass. But I'll stick that in the description of YouTube, and we'll chat about that offline, man, because I think there's a crossover we can do there as well. But I think you've got massive opportunities, mate. Listen, I'd set my hat to I ain't done what you've done on Instagram, and I'm chuffed that it's paying you. Like I say, we do it. We've taken a different route for our clients, which seems to be working. But I'm always willing to learn, man. Always willing to learn.
It is good, but I've known for a while that it's not working in line with where I want to go.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
I want to build houses.
Yeah.
And I want to build houses because I do enjoy building houses. I just don't enjoy building them for persimmons or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And by building houses, you said it. You only need 4.
Yep.
Four projects, and that's the time. You're going to get your time back because you're not constantly like, got this little extension 3x5 on the back. It's going to take a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm done. Then I need to start organising the next one.
Yeah.
You can constantly organising when you're doing the smaller jobs.
The profit margins are quite. With extensions, what I found as well is that I'd either do really, really well and get in there and crash it out in 3 days and make, good money, or if something goes wrong, I'd be like, well, the profit's gone because the job's not big enough. Whereas if you've got a 20 grand profit margin, you've got a little bit of wiggle room. There's a bit of room for error and for slight, hold ups and all that stuff.
Yeah. I agree. Like profit margin on small jobs can quickly disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've done one at the Lake District, and I can't remember how much it was now, but I know if it was £5 grand, 20% on that is not very much money. And we had a couple of issues, and that was gone like just after 2 issues because it was so far away. was the travelling there and the paying for getting there and
Yeah.
hotel.
Yeah.
It just disappeared. That's an extreme example.
I guess one of the other beautiful things, excuse me, about I've got a frog in my throat. One of the other beautiful things about LinkedIn is you can target your area.
Yeah.
So I can add all the managing directors in my area. So I know when I'm getting tenders in, they're 20 miles from my house. Do you know, I'm not sort of, I guess it's that taking that initiative to not let a social media platform dictate where I'm working. And so, well, I'm going that way, and I need to find everyone that's working over that way. And then you can adjust to suit, man. But it's great. I really appreciate your time, mate. Honestly, I've loved it. Like, it's been brilliant to get to know you a bit better and understand about what's going on and your plans moving forward. Like, that's exciting. Like that knowing that you're, because there'll be a lot of people listening to this that are in the same spot, knowing that what you're doing isn't the next thing, as in, like, you need to pivot a little bit. It's a bloody exciting place to be, man. It really is, like, because there's so much opportunity there. Like, it's doing something new. It's really exciting, mate. For anyone that's listening or watching this, that does want to blow up on Instagram, what's the main thing they got to do?
Turn up.
Consistency.
Yeah, you just got to be just consistent. Every single day, just go, make it a priority. Like, sacrifice playing on the Xbox after work, or going down the pub with your mate. People say that they haven't got time for it, and it's a load of shit. Like, because you see them people posting on the weekends and they've been out on the piss or whatever, or they've spent 4 hours down at the pub. Like, that 4 hours could have made you 10 grand.
Yeah, well said, man. That's like, what a great point. What a great point, Craig. I think
just turn up. Right. Don't be put off by not getting any results straight away, because nobody gets results straight away ever.
Yeah.
And you said it earlier on. There's no fast way to. There's no fast way to anything. Like, you've got
no cheat code, man. The cheat code is the work, right? The cheat code is the work. Like, you do the work and you get the results consistently over a long period of time. And I love what you said on that. I love what you just said there, Craig. I love it. I think I'm not against drinking. I'm sober, right? I've been sober 6 years, but I'm not against it at all. Like, whatever.
Yeah. No.
But actually, what happens is, especially in construction, there's an awful lot of people that talk a good game. Like, I mean, a lot. People that talk about they want to do X, Y, and Z, and they want to take over and da-da-da-da. I stand by what I always say, and people get pissed off of it. It ain't hard to get ahead in construction, because everyone is playing at such a low level. Whether that's standard of work, whether that's showing up, like, people want an immediate win or they quit. Like, and if you just be consistent and talk to your clients' problems, at some point your business will blow up. Like, that is a fact. I just don't know when. Do you know what I mean? I don't know when that will be. Do you know what I mean? So, mate, I've loved it, man. I've really, really loved it.
What a lovely fella Craig is. Like, there's definitely going to be a lot of crossovers with us moving forward. And I've come away from that call thinking the same, that the tradesmen and the boots on the ground are on Instagram and Facebook, and the businessmen are on LinkedIn. It's B2B. And when you're trying to grow a construction company online, going B2B, business to business, is so important. It's where the decision makers are. You can get in front of the decision makers straight away, and as long as your messaging and your branding and your content is right, you will scale your company on LinkedIn, in my opinion, faster than what you'll scale it on Instagram. What I want to do is give you guys actionable items that you can take away and implement without costing you loads and loads of time and money. This channel is going to solve those problems for you, and that's why I got Craig on today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and I'll see you lot in the next one.